Saludos, bienvenido, what up, maboika to everyone. Um, just wanted to just get on here and just talk about everyday life, everyday life of a crown ambassador. Well, first of all, don't take life so serious. I'm being reminded of that every day. My mother in Spanish says, "No coge todo a pecho," you know, and it's same way. No coge todo a pecho. You put your chest into so many things and get so serious about it. Life is not that serious. You know what I'm saying? Comment, let me see. Hey, Barn Dogs, salud, buddy. Salud, buddy. As you know, yeah, I did enter into this Samera. Took my wrench away. That's okay. That's okay. But I see that he's got great moderators like yourself, and shout out to Sanetta. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not too disgruntled. I'm a forgiving person. You know what I'm saying? But I stand my ground. I stand my ground. I stand my ground. But that's the way it is. I'm not important to him. I'm not significant. I'm not important, but that's okay. Everyone is important to me. That is what I'm learning from being a crown ambassador. When you say crowned, you're representing a crown, and that crown is the mother of all crowns, the mother throne of all thrones, in the Federation of the South, the Empress of Saba, the Empress of Sheba. That line, that house. It's a house. It's the castle is in Mandombe, Congo. It's a dynasty. So I'm honored to be part of that. As a matter of fact, I sent out invitation for many to join us in the summit and to also see if they wanted to be part of something like that. But hey, that's my life. That's where I'm at. A lot of stuff. I have to study a lot, protocols and there's interviews that are coming up. As a crown ambassadors, we also going to have tasks that we have to perform. Certain things, tasks, or we're envoys. When you say ambassador, you're like an envoy. You represent, a country or government or a chief or a dynasty. That's what ambassador does. And so some of us ambassadors also we're salary based. You know what I'm saying? And we're to be given certain tasks. So they're going to be interviews, you know what I'm saying? I know where I fit in, I know my strong points and what I would love to achieve with that particular, part of my life, you know what I'm saying? As far as the debates and all that stuff goes, I don't engage in debates, and I will not unless the Empress herself gives me the right to do that. And don't get me wrong, at this moment right now, I'm not by any way echoing, resonating, echoing anything that the Empress, did not give me the not the permission, but this is not sanctioned. This is just me speaking about life, everyday life. Lately, I'll be honest with you. Let me come on camera so you can see. Lately, I'll be honest with you, I've been, stressed. Sometimes we get stressed. You get to learn that, like I said, everything is not so serious. You can get stressed when you get to your age, you become a grandpa and you have family and, they lean a lot on you for certain things. And so there is a communication, there's there's certain responsibility that goes both ways. So yeah, it can become very stressful, especially when you're dealing with a 13-year-old, which is, he's engaged in a lot of this football. So it's not that much. It's just 13 years old, how unorganized they can be. You know what I'm saying? I can't even show you this room. I gave him a room, which was my studio and my office. I gave him that room. And so You would not imagine. But anyway, if you know, if you live with a 13-year-old, you can imagine what a 13-year-old room looks like. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I also have a 2-year-old granddaughter, and man, a lot of energy. Um, I gotta start taking her out more out there to the park so she can just get so tired. But during the day, I reach out to certain Crown Ambassador. Shout out to Kathy, Crown Ambassador Kathy, who gave me some advice because she also deals with the same situation, saying of caring for her a grandchild. Same thing. And so, sister gave me pointers and stuff like that. It's important, as a man, you can also you could develop that maternity sense, that maternity behavior. And that's what it's about. You gotta give them breakfast in the morning. You gotta make sure that they're being entertained a certain way. You gotta make sure that they're being protected because they're gonna get into everything. Man, my granddaughter gets into everything. I'm telling you, the cabinets and whatever. Certain things she grew out of, so I'm able to put more things down on it's just life, you know what I'm saying? So I know people going through certain things, and that's a reality of life. I wanted to establish that, and so, the time that I do get to sit at a summit or to join a Zoom conference call, I haven't been too much vocal in any of those Zooms because protocol is to make sure that your environment is quiet, that you don't have kids yelling. And my granddaughter, once she sees me on the phone, headphones, she sees me on Zoom, she wants to, hi, she wants to get involved, engage in it. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like, in the back room, in the backdrop, you know what I'm saying? But I'm present all the time and learning so much. A lot of wisdom that the Empress imparted in us, and so much, the initiatives and the agenda. It's all about Project 7 Phoenix. Should I bring it up? You give me 1 second. Let me see if I can bring up Project 7 Phoenix. Let me see if I can share that screen. Let's see. Project 7 Phoenix, the agenda. I'm looking for it. Give me 1 second. And I want to bring up Project 7 Phoenix for you. Federation. Oh, here we go. Project 7 Phoenix. I'm going to share my screen. Just give you a little backdrop on that. Let me see if I go here. Let's see if I share screen. Let's go to Chrome, the agenda, my page, the agenda. Let me see if this is it. Yes, here it goes. Let me share this screen right here. Can you see that? Let me look at this here on Facebook, see what you guys can see. It's a little delay. See, yeah, you can see that. This is Project 7 Phoenix, and I want to read the agenda of that. And just to let you know how important this is, and what is what is it all about? You know what I'm saying? And it's So the agenda is first item of the Queendom agenda are the further establishment of the imperial Queendom of Sheba and the continental capital of the African Kingdom Federation Kingdoms. Now, the support of the African Union Nations Development Agenda. They got the support, African Union Nations Development Agenda, right? With the Queendom Project 7 Phoenix, right? Agenda. The Project 7 Phoenix is the simultaneous development of the African continent in unity and in harmony with the African Union nations. So this is an agenda that the Queen wrote out. They're to be implemented via the following organs of the Queendom. So you have the Imperial House of Sheba Crown family. This is the House Foundation, the Crown Foundation, the beautiful daughter. That's a princess of there, Vanessa. That's the son, Crown Royal Prince Andrew, Crown Royal Prince Jacob of Sheba. Very interesting. So you have the Parliament, the Finance, and the Foundation. Now, in the parliament, to develop the parliament, the agenda of the simultaneous development of the African continent nation is strengthened by the full integration, participation, support of the kingdoms of Africa as an integral part of the Queendom Crown Parliament, the Commonwealth of Nations, the Crown Imperial House Foundation, and the Crown Senate. So you see, this is a queendom, and it has a parliament, it has senators, ministers, and so and so and so. And so and also ambassadors, like I'm an ambassador, task force, and so on and so and so. But this is all to come together in unity and to implement, again, the betterment of the African nations, you know what I'm saying, and throughout Africa. We have to take care of Mother Africa, and then we can spread out to, because we have ministers from UK, ministers from South Africa, what's the African ministers, European, Arabs, all over the world. You know what I'm saying? We have ministers, and it's a queendom that spreads out and spread out. But the core of it, it's Africa. You know what I'm saying? And the betterment of the African nations, you know. So the African Union coronated and gave the support and the rights for those federations of the South to come together, all those chiefs and empires and chiefs to come together so they can better themselves, you know what I'm saying? Better the environment, and better the, you know what I'm saying, and to also to contribute to the benefit of all humanity, you know what I'm saying? So the finances, the agenda will be financed by the Queendom of Sheba, the African Nation Monetary Fund, Queendom of Sheba Crown Minister Ministries, and so the Investment Authority, and so the foundation. Again, you see, as execution responsibilities under the Crown Imperial House Foundation, Queendom government led by the Crown Imperial House. So this is, we have the weekly summits. We just got, and these are the ministers. You see, ministers. We just had a good 20-something weeks, 21 weeks of dealing with agriculture and exploring the different industries in agriculture, on the fourth industrial revolution and how it deals with agriculture, and also traditional agriculture, all of that. Now I think we're going to go into the whole money system and whatever, bank. And so, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's very, very important. Very, very important. You know what I'm saying? So that's everyday life, you know what I'm saying, of being engaged in certain things. And my agenda will be, since I'm come from the Caribbean in Puerto Rico, great. And matter of fact, shout out to Dima Sanchez, Melanie Diaz, Tobo, Zavallo, everybody doing good works over there in Florida and Orlando. And the stuff that they're doing, Melanie with her DNA and tracing everything back to Africa, and Dimas with the music and the work that's being done, because again, that is part of our lineages, of African lineage that is throughout all of the Caribbean, even Mexico, Latin America, even the United States. We have a strong genetic. We have European genetics, but at the same time, we have this African genetics. And so the support has to be there. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do that. You have to respect all of that, in the DNA, and explore that. So a lot of work is being done. A shout out to them doing the work, and soon I would love to join them in their efforts, because they're professors, and they're scholastically professors and performers, and that's where I come from, being also a teacher, a mentor, and also being a performer, you know what I'm saying? So I like to be around people that are doing things at the same time with a purpose and a mission, again, because it is, who we are, you know what I'm saying? It's who we are, and so shout out to them, like I said, My intentions is are to join certain organizations, groups, and gatherings that are, founded in universities, saying that are coming together and making an effort to better better humanity and better their social conditions, especially in the island of Puerto Rico. Such an island that carries a lot of traditions, you know, a very very profound traditions that are in that island, and also shares it with Cuba, Santo Domingo, Haiti, Jamaica, Samaca, which is Jamaica, and all of the island, Trinidad, all these islands in the Caribbean, and also Latin America and the Yucatan, Mexico. We carry so much of a tradition, what I'm saying? And I've done the research and I've seen that, there always been an African influence, an African influence in all of those societies and all of those countries and landmass. Always been. So that has to be, again, implemented. What I'm saying? That has to be explored, explain, define, explain, explore, experience, because I have experience. I was just thinking today, saying, like, when I was young, my parents, a family from Arroyo and Maunabo, where you see Arroyo, Patilla, Maunabo, Guadalajara, that area in the south. Arroyo, we married to Cora, which is a very huge family name. We're Pacho Cora, what I'm saying? And I noticed growing up, I was always, that affinity that I have for playing music, especially, we call guabanco or 6A, música africana, what I'm saying, ritmo bata, and all these different rhythms growing up, and the culture. You're watching, my family with the big afros and the the black fist, the solidarity, and the pick, what I'm saying, the afro pick, and the music, the guabanco, the salsa, the album cover, and growing up, I didn't give it any thought. I didn't say, "Oh, African," this is African culture. I did not give it any thought, because it's just naturally my expression, naturally my condition, the culture, cultivating this culture. It's just, you're grown into it naturally. So you don't give it any thought until you start going into what we call into the universities, and you start going to schools, university. Now they start introducing you to these concepts and these labels and these concepts. So later on, I grew up and I say, "Oh, so that is African." But there's something that is natural in us. Foods that we eat, vegetables that we tend to eat and we adore, the music we listen to, the way we talk, certain languages we use, we don't think about it at all. We don't think about it. Oh, this is Africa. We don't. Just, it's later on that scholastically, scholars go on and to define and identify and explain something. What I'm saying? That's another venue. What I'm saying? That's what it is. So as growing up, I search for that part of me. I search for the Taino part of me, that native, knowledge, and I also search for the African and the Iberian, the Moorish, information in the Moorish paradigm. I search for that also. But knowing, and all of that came together when I became a student at the Ansarullah University. It was a university because it was a different classes and a setting, the halls of knowledge. It was based on, and it was also an embassy, because a lot of the Ansarullah from Sudan came over. It was charter sanctioned. Also got to meet the Prime Minister Saeed Sadiq, and I was awarded the pin Ahl Bayt. So I became inducted into that family. So wherever I would go, where amongst Shiites, wherever I would go in the Islamic world, Shiites, and if I had that pin Ahl Bayt, I would be treated with royalty. Royalty. Well, how you know about Ahl Bayt? Where you get that pin from, or whatever? That's royalty. What I'm saying? And I don't take it for granted. What I'm saying? I've learned a lot about that particular expression, saying that condition, that culture, and I expanded it into the Mali Empire, I expanded into the Sudanese, expanded into the Congo, expanded Benin, and all these areas, saying, and seeing where that became a commonality. Like if you go to Congo, and I was just looking at the podcast today with Diva Sanchez, and he was asked how many ethnic groups are in the Congo, and he said there's 742. So 746, and I'm like, wow, one of those ethnic groups could be a group, Sabian groups that tend to be of the Sudanese line. Remember, all of that area was once called Sudan, and the migration of the Bantu people from the Nile Valley. And so when I started investigating and looking into this, I go deeper into that. I come to see a commonality in things, and so that led me in my walk in life, and then from there, found the African Royal Kingdom, and found some other organizations, organization throughout the United States too, because you have a lot of sheikhs that sits in the Moorish seats, and they became there are other dynasties here, that. There are other governments and other dynasties within the United States. People tell you, no, there's only one government, and it's the Corporation United States of America, and this. Okay, yeah, there is that. That should be respected. That should be very, very respected. But there is a communication. They know it, and there is a communication. There is an acknowledgement by the United States of America of these different groups or different dynasties, houses that are here in America. Also, the African World Kingdom Federation do have the acknowledgement of the Senate. I can show you a lot of the plaque, with the Senate do acknowledge that. African Kingdom Federation, we're in good standing. And so there is a lot of communication. So I explored, I found out there's a lot of dynasties here, houses and dynasties. Some are just getting, because of the fourth industrial revolution and just the new resetting of things, they're just getting themselves together, their government in place, they're getting themselves in order, that's happening, because, there is a prophecy that says that, everything is going to be, we're together worldwide, but everything is going to be broken up into different communities and different, everything is going to be broken up. You see that here in America. There's a lot of organizations. Everything is broken up, but yet we do find a commonality. We do find that common thread, which is very important, to implement that and to keep that alive, that the commonality. So we don't wind up destroying ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And Lamar Watson, peace to you. So with the African Royal Kingdom, I'm honored. I'm accepted as a Crown Ambassador, and so the work. I'm doing right now. I'm doing a lot of studying. I'm also doing learning how the United Nations work. You got to know how other industries and other organizations, other leagues, how things work worldwide. As you're going to be an ambassador, you have to know certain protocols. You know what I'm saying? There is a common protocol. I call it, a commonality in all protocol. And that is, if you carry yourself with integrity, honesty, and integrity, that will oversee all protocol, because now you have that character of integrity, that character of honesty with you, so they can see a royalty within you. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other protocols that has to be followed with many different other groups. You know what I'm saying? So that's a study. And so, in everyday life, again, to take things too seriously. I try not to take things seriously, even stuff that I'm doing as a Crown Ambassador. I know I do things professionally, but sometimes you could be a professional humorist. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, take it so seriously. You know what I'm saying? That you forget your humanity, or you forget your humorous thing about you. You become so disgruntled. I don't. I don't take, and I learned that because I don't even take YouTube, all these different podcasts, shifting over the conversation. I don't even take that so seriously. What I'm saying? I don't. I mean, I was honored, respect and honor. Sarnetta gave me a wrench at one time. That was beautiful. But again, I don't take it so seriously. I don't be like, man, I don't. And then when I visit all these podcasts and I see the engagement and what they're doing, I'm like, to me, it's I learn. I experience that. I learn things, what I can learn at the same time. It's entertainment. You call it edutainment at sometimes, or entertainment. Because at the end of the day, a lot of it is speculative. Unless someone comes in and show me, does a presentation, a podcast, show me of how to actually build a solar panel live. Let's take these panels, let's get this, order this, that, let's solder. That's applied science. You see? But all this other talk is just speculative. I'm speculating right now. It's all speculative. And so I learned, don't take it so seriously. You know what I'm saying? Until you can show me actually how to weave a basket. But as you weave in the basket, you're telling me a story about weaving the basket, because that's oral traditions. That's applied science. I make jewelry now. I started to venture out. So I took these little beads of the tamarind. And so I have a drill now. So I'm making tamarindo jewelry. I'm going to make jewelry from tamarindo and necklace and stuff, right? To express my native, tamarindo native expression and just to keep myself occupied. That's jewelry making. That's applied. You're applying thing. Now, mathematics, I could build a studio here. I could look at the dimensions and I could say, well, this needs to be acoustically. I need to put phone here, acoustic here. I need to acoustic this. I could build my studio, mixer, interfaces. I apply until somebody does a presentation like that. But if you're going to come up here and speculate on mathematics and tell me, the mathematics of this 4 2 the 7 and 9 and 9 6 and 9 9, you know what I'm saying? You can have some speculative knowledge, right? But then like the rodent coil, right, of taking the number 9 and how 3 and 6 and shifts create the 9, and that's how they build the rodent coil, an actual coil that gives that conducts electricity. Hello, you know what I'm saying? Hold on a second. Sorry, like I said, I got a 2-year-old running around. She opened up the door. But again, so if you're gonna give me all this applied sciences, like for instance, speculative, it's better give me applied. Like a lot of speculative, and not to be so disgruntled or derogatory to a lot of my brothers and sisters out there. You want to apply. For instance, you want to speak about the Israel, you know what I'm saying? But you don't experience it. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you the culture, the dress, you know what I'm saying? The different rituals, because that's spiritual. When you look at the word, again, let's put it up here. When you look at the word, what is it? Spiritual. Go back here. Look at this word, right? Spiritual. You see the word ritual. So if you're not engaged in certain rituals, you know what I'm saying? Like they have, for instance, Passover and whatever. But when it comes to doing Shabbat, going to an area in the country and everybody's setting up tents or setting up tents in your backyard there are certain rituals, you're not experiencing that. And then you're not experiencing the language every day. You're not experiencing, the dress. And then there's some groups that they dress the part, but they're not building synagogues. They all in a storefront. I don't want to be so derogatory and point out, so negative thing, negative thing. But let's be real. You know what I'm saying? Those are all speculative, because you're not applying it to your culture, and you're not creating a condition so that your children grows up in it. You know what I'm saying? And experiences, because that's one of the best teacher. You want to talk about Islam, but you go to the mosque, but then you don't live in a community that everybody there speaks an Islamic language. You hear the adhan going off 5 times a day, and everybody is running to the going to the mosque and making prayer. Everything is built. You don't experience that. In Christianity, also you don't experience the bell of the church, boom boom, and everybody going to prayer. You know what I'm saying? There's certain cultural expressions, conditions that, the best teachers are the experience. But that's what I said, and it's okay. You want to be speculative, you want to specify and say you this and that. Also, the occults. The occults are people that are into the occults, but they have no idea, when you cultivate certain conditions, how you can cultivate certain metals, cultivate certain chemistry. They don't even know about chemistry. They don't even have a chemistry lab. When you deal with the occults, they don't, or the occupation of cultivating, of dealing with chemicals, or dealing with metallurgy, different things. They just don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So they could speak all about the occults and this and that, but show me, that's applied sciences as opposed to speculative. But I guess speculative is something important, because it's doctrine and dogma. But if it doesn't lead you to the source, then it's lacking. I've learned to experience things. So dealing with the African royal kingdom, I need to experience that. So I need to take a trip to Mandombe, Congo. I need to see the empress there. She wants us to be there at the castle. She wants to experience that, coming in front of an empress and seeing the throne, the empress, and experience that. Like they experience the coronation. There's a lot of pictures of a lot of my ambassadors and ministers went through that. They experienced the coronation. They experienced the processions, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's something that I say to myself. I Mali. Take a trip to Mali, take a trip to Sudan, take a trip to ancient the Nile Valley. These things are experiences, and you can actually stand firm on. You know what I'm saying? I experienced Paris, France. People talk about the city of love and the cafes. You walk around France at night. You walk around, all the grocery stores got tables outside. They sell wine. You say these are all cafes, but they're actually bodegas. Grocery stores and but they cafes and whatever. It's a beautiful thing. And then you go to the Eiffel Tower and you see people. You see artists outside. I mean, it was a beautiful experience. So I could tell you, I experienced Paris, France. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. I experienced Puerto Rico. If you Cuban, go to Cuba. Wherever you're from. I experienced Puerto Rico as a child many times in the summer, and experience. And the time that I went to Puerto Rico, before a lot of the urbanization, started spreading more rapidly, I got to experience walking into the caña, the sugar canes, and walking to the beach, and horses, and oxes, and bulls, and cows running around free. I got to experience the country life. You know what I'm saying? I got to see those mountains and go up and walk up to the mountains. Those experiences, you know what I'm saying? I have to experience that. Then again, the Bronx. If I'm to talk about the Bronx, talk about the city life. I was born and raised up in the city life, in the Bronx. The experiences of gangs, the experiences of of playing stickball and skellies and being the fire, the hydrant and water in the pool, the summer in New York experiences, and the winter in New York, the snow blizzards and stuff like that. Now, when you say, I can say I'm experiencing the South as far as North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? I'm experiencing my terrain, my conditions out here, and it's all hills. So I'm constantly walking up hills. And we'll walk up in North Carolina, you're gonna walk up hills. In South Carolina, North Carolina, hills and hills and hills, mountains. So I'm right now where I live, the complex, it's up on a hill. So I get to look down on trees, and I get to see terrains, and I get to see a lot of forestry around me. That's an experience. I get to live that and get to know that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff going on. So like I said, everyday life I get to experience also. The act of maternity, taking care of 2-year-old, being again a grandfather, and being here, get to experience it, man. Sometimes it gets very stressful. Sometimes I do it gets to you, but a lot of times you got to be able to say, I forgive my family. I forgive everyone. I just got to I got to clean it out. I got to cleanse and clean that out and keep going. Because the first law for me is that I want to make sure that the little ones are safe. That's it. I'll sacrifice my life to see the safety of my grandkids. You know what I'm saying? My granddaughter, 2-year-old, and my grandson. I will sacrifice my freedom, my career. I don't care what it is. They're coming first. But then you say to yourself, hey, why do that? When you get old, you die, they just forget about you. And they live their life and they do this and that and that. But at least I know. And that's what gratifies me. That's the way I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to sacrifice. At the same time, I'm going to look for ways to complement, both worlds and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Like I said, don't take life so serious. No cuento a pecho. I got to constantly say that also to myself. That life so serious. You know what I'm saying? You have to live by the moments, the now, and the moments, and do the best. Always do the best you can do at the moment and time. I'm going to give you the best of my communication at this moment in time. That's it. That's all I can do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to share with you certain things. You know what I'm saying? With Jojo speaking, I'm going to, share more of nature knowledge. I think that's very important. And certain, ideas and concepts and certain things that reasons out. That's important. And also, share with you also my experience with the African Royal Kingdom Federation and the Empress of Sheba. My experience with that is what I'm doing. I'm sharing. Like I said, I've been a little bit back because of the illness and stuff, but I'm coming back, and I've been, wanted to share some things. Also shout out to all my Taino brothers and sisters out there, and shout out to my Sabian brothers and sisters out there, to the Sabians, and shout out to everyone out there. Really, my Israelite brothers and Islamic brothers, everybody. Shout out to everybody that living the best life you can live. You know what I'm saying? Always seek to live your best life. That's it. Don't take everything so serious. Enjoy yourself. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy yourself. Anyway, with all that saying, all the blessings to you, and hasta la próxima.